Hello, and welcome back to our mini project. Last time we left on the delete function, and I'm not sure yet whether should I go to searching more about actual documentations and how to test the thing, but I don't think my project is big enough for something like that, so we might as well just ask ChatGPT for a similar project to do, so that we can have a direction where to go after doing the last part of our app, which I hope doesn't go that long. Probably should be able to finish it at least today. Which yeah, reminds me, one thing that I probably should be studying is Git. So after we finish this part, we will probably be also doing some Git, because I want to send this app to a repository which I think I prepared, but I'm still not familiar with how to use Git on IntelliJ at least. But I was curious what type of project that I can do as a beginner for a job application, for example. Projects do we need to build in our portfolio? Should probably make a personal app portfolio type. Yeah, that will be a better way, but we will figure that out after we actually made a couple of files for our Java Spring Boot application in the back end and React in the front end. So people say to do app, e-commerce, logging, social media application. Real-time chat application, online learning management system. I think they are ranked from the easiest to the highest. APIs for managing CRUD application. Okay, we are missing that part. Before we can even get to Git, should probably get more familiar with JWT authentication, which I probably have the videos for it from this guy here. I think I watched some of his videos related to the authentication, but I also watched someone else at the same time, and this caused a lot of mess in my head. For some reason, the more I dive deep into Spring security, the more it gets complicated. So we will be adding the optional handling part, and then we will search more about Git and how to use the basic functionalities of it and what it can and can't do. And I'm talking about Git and GitHub, by the way. And then we will do JWT after. Okay, I think we have good enough list of things to do now, actually, to jump to the project. So we created the delete, and then we started doing it here. We only want to delete the user, but only if the user exists, or more specifically the ID exists. So we want a function that gets the user. So we can call it bind ID, and it gives us the ID. And if the ID is find ID by ID, so it takes a parameter of ID and checks if it exists or not. Is this enough functionality that's possible here? We can check by writing in the repository and see. Optional. We say ID. But wait, can we add the ID? Or we can use the original method that we already had here. Find user by ID, takes the ID and returns back to the user. Yeah, it could be the same thing instead of having the whole entire thing used from scratch. So we will be having optional users, user, go to user repository dot find users by ID, and then we pass the ID that we got from the parameter, and we say if user is present, we execute this code. And we should also return a string that it is successful. So should we print this? I mean, sure. Return user was successfully deleted. Else, actually no need to even write this. We just say return throw. Do you need a return of the throw? I'm not sure. Throw new not such element, and then do we write a message? The user ID doesn't exist. So far so good, actually working, everything fine. Find user by name, I don't think we are using that method, so I'll comment it for now. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine. Actually, might as well just delete it since it's not being used, and then we get back to the add variable. I'm not sure what we were trying to do here, so first, as I said, always try and catch at the controller, and always if and throw illegal argument or any exception at the user service or any service of that matter. So we say try, we have catch, exception, key, and we get to the HTTP status response. So since we are having a response, we should be creating our response also. So we say response entity, it will be from string. What do we call it? Deleted user, which will give us the thing from the service, the result from the service that we just created. So user service dot delete user, and we pass in the ID. String class represent character string, all the data in Java, such as Yeah, because we have to handle the optional part first. Yeah, this part only comes at the okay dot okay, after the dot okay method, which we should be doing in the try. So we have a string and then we applied it to that, and not necessarily, you don't even need to do that. Actually, you can just return response entity dot okay, and then you pass that entire thing in here. Isn't that way better? And I think we can do the same thing here also, but I'm not sure which is more good for the readability. I guess I'll keep these two like this. Then we say here return response entity dot what's it, http status? No, just status first. Okay, status http status dot internal server error, and we will include in the body an error occurred, and then we will add plus, actually I think the plus will be here, e dot get message. Some spelling mistake here. But we have 7 possible errors. Class user controller is never used. Well, that's the intention. Also that's the intention. Variable ID is never used. Where is that? Interesting. When we created the user, how about we actually comment that part, since it's already not used. And we check if we can actually create a user that way. Yeah, I made a long to get the ID, but I never used it. Okay, how about we just remove it? What else do we have here? The delete method. Delete user is never used. Update email is never used. Yeah, they are all would not be used either way, so okay, nothing. So we run our database, we prepare our Postman. I think everything in Postman is ready. Everything here seems to be working fine also. Let's log into our database. Connect to the test. So /c test. And then select all from users. Actually, no. I believe we got that error from before, and it says the user. Okay, li, sorry, li. Also, was it ls? Keep on mixing. List. So Oh, it's the complete word. I'm mixing it with Linux, never mind. Ah, it's test2. Select all from users. Li, there is no Li here. I want to just clear everything so far. How do you write the clear? I forgot. Okay, never mind. As if nothing happened. Select all from users. Okay. It just sometimes it gives me certain errors and I repeat the same line, it doesn't. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. Let's do our post mapping. We have Tim here. We send it. Everything seems to be looking fine. Now we get Tim. Post it. How an error has occurred? Did something happen with the post request at the beginning that we did? Ah, okay, I put a put not a get, never mind. Actually, we will remove all of this. Post request. Get, put, get. What is the post request? For some reason it changed, I'm not sure why, but we'll do it again. So now we have Tim. Now to get Tim, we got Tim's email, and now to put the email that we want. So we give the name and the email, and I think that one was the wrong one. Or actually no, we changed the email now from Tim to Johan. What? No, we didn't. Okay, that's an error we have. How about we just delete the user? Let's check. So delete function is working good, the get function is working good, the post function is working good, but something has gone wrong, I think, with the post one. So this one should be a post request, yes. We have it. Yes, and it's given now ID 2 because we deleted the user, yes. Now we want to put, and the ID here will be 2. We are giving the name Tim so that we are able to access it, and we want the name to be changed to Johan. But for some reason, yes, it does work here, it does show Johan, but it doesn't change here. So it means that we have an issue with either our service or controller layer. Get mapping, put mapping. So we took the ID and the body, which contains both the user name and email. User service.change email. So I don't think there is nothing wrong with the logic here, so it's definitely the user then. So we have the change email here. We take the ID and the email, but we actually can get more though. We have the email and we have the name. Did we use it actually there for anything even? The body contains these two messages. So the name is not used to begin with. Well, never mind, we'll figure that part out later, but why is it giving the same one? So we found user by ID, and we put the ID that's given here, and if it's present, we set the email. Where is set email? Is yes, the one that the setter of the class. Set email. Then if we went to the user class, set email should be working. Yes, it is. And then we return new email. New email is the same email. Yeah, we shouldn't be returning this. We should actually be having this here. Since set email is void, it doesn't return anything. But we have here return as a string. What string are we even returning to the user controller? Where is the put mapping? We want the new email to be returned if the app was successful. But what is the new email? Okay, so here it makes sense that I put the email just for testing purposes, but email. What type of email did we put here? We put the user.get email. Which user? That user. So we put it the original email here, which we shouldn't. We should be putting the new email. How does the post request look again? So Tim, and then we have Johan. No, the logic seems to be fine. If we have, let me highlight this so I don't keep on eye rolling. So we actually return the new email that's given from the body, and that's the way that I can check that it's actually working. For some reason the database, no. And then we return the new email. So yes, I don't think that has issue here, but it has an issue with the user not being set. For some reason the set email here is not working as intended, at least. How do I fix that? Should probably put it as part of the issues I ran to. Project related issue of everything going fine, but what is called but the user, actually maybe I should explain. Issue where I want to change the user email, but I get bypass all the error sensors that I basically put, and what what else is happening. I'm not getting the required result. Or to be more specific, the user isn't changing in the database. Oh, how do we solve this issue? We only found the user here and we are not inserting the I'll just ask ChatGPT about it. Your code snippet is almost correct, but there are a few improvements you can make to enhance the readability, exception handling, and ensure appropriate. Isn't getting changed in the database. Okay, I need to update it back by just adding .save. So yes, I have it as a class, but it wasn't saved to the database yet. I see the issue here. So we have to make all of this as user repository dot save, and then we have this entire thing here. Probably it will be better to actually put it in a user class. User. No, not even possible. So how do we save the user? Which user I'm talking about? The user is already created, so I don't think I need anything else. Just type user. Because it is still user.get. That's what we need. Get in a string. Wait, why is it new email here? I'm talking about here. Dot get. Okay, so that's how it should go. So because we created the class and everything, it wasn't saved. We set the email in the user, but didn't save it to the, what's this called? the user itself. Yeah, go to the base after we edited it. So actually let's check it. Do I need to actually start the project every time I do that? Let's put the same request again. Yeah, I think we do have to restart. So what is my post request? We post them. Everything seems fine. We get them. Correct. Now we put them. So here in the database, yes, it's giving me on, and then to delete them. Okay, finally the first project is done. So yes, it was a better idea to not just rely on Postman but also Postgres at the same time. Should probably add this part here also. Don't forget to add the user after, not add, save as a save the user after you update. And now we finished all of this. Finish this part. Now shall we do get or readability? Preferably get. We have this, all of these changes. Let's commit and push. I need to understand how the get system actually works, because I'm not sure if I'm going to a separate path or I am staying on the same path. And fixing some bugs. The origin, yes. I'm not familiar with the terminologies of Git yet, but I should be getting it. GitHub. And no, that's something else. Where's my account? So we have the source here. That's the test. We don't want the test. We want the mean, Java, user, and then let's check the controller. Or was it the repository? No, the service we changed last time. Dot save user, yes. So everything was changed. So I think I'll watch this video first about the Git.
Git crash course. I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know about Git and nothing that you don't. We are going to be simulating a real-world scenario where you have just started work at a startup, and you are going to need to clone the repo and submit a PR. This is going to be 90% of your day-to-day activities as a software developer. So let's just go ahead and dive straight into it. Now, if there's one incredibly important thing, if you can just remember this will greatly benefit you in the future and help your understanding of Git.
Which is
all Git does is track changes. At the end of the day, there's
yes.
countless complex commands that you can use in Git, and there's all types of crazy, amazing things that you can do, but at the very heart of it, at the very foundational level, the only thing that Git does is keep track of changes that people make to code bases or just documents in general. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, Teddy, what exactly does that even mean? Watch. So in any project that you have, you are going to have a Git file in the background. You can't actually see it in Windows. I think you can actually see it in Mac, but in the background, there's actually a Git file within this project. And within this file, it is going to keep track of changes. And this Git file is also going to be tied to your IDE. So visually, watch. If I go J, watch what happens right after I make that J. I may actually need to do a little bit more than that to actually get it.
I'm using
If I
IntelliJ,
go
so it's
here,
a bit different.
what's
But
going to
usually
happen is this
should
little
feel the same.
one is going to pop up. And this means that there are changes. And if you look within this source control or this little branch looking thing, as you can see, Git just track the changes. And if you click on this changes right here, and you do this every day as a software developer, you can see the changes that you just made. And that's the whole entire idea behind it. And that's basically what Git does. Now we're gonna build on top of that, but just keep that in mind. And if you want to,
Is there something like that? But actually, we just use that. So I want something specifically for using Git with IntelliJ. Doesn't seem to be much of good quality videos around it, probably because it's a niche topic. But
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Each topic repository that your always I felt a first start.
it's a bit old. I
Today's,
want something more new.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my same for now.
Nope, not as new, but better, I guess. Yes, we'll watch that video first to get the main concept, and then we will check how we do it in IntelliJ.
And this occurs in IntelliJ. This is in Visual Studio. Any IDE is going to have Git built into it and allow you to visually see all of these changes. So in a
we do,
real life
yes.
scenario, what is going to happen is the employer is going to send you an email that grants you access to a private repo. Now, obviously, being that this is a YouTube channel, I can't allow you to access a private repo because that wouldn't make sense. So
Yeah.
what we're going to do is pretend you got an email from an employer and pretend that this is a private repo. And I'll drop a link down in the description. This is a public repo, but what we're going to do is pretend that it's private. So you have been given this repo. What you are going to do is you are going to do a Git clone. A Git clone simply means that you are going to take a copy and download it off the internet. You're going to clone an exact carbon copy of the latest version of the software and put it onto your local machine so that you can actually work on it. So there are infinite ways to do a Git clone, but the easiest and the most common way is to just open up VS Code in a folder, create a folder. I could just call this one Git Crash Course, opened it up in VS Code in the documents file, and let's go ahead and make sure that we have Git installed. I have Git installed on my machine, but if you don't have Git installed, what you want to do is you just want to type in Git install in Google and go to this website. It looks very 90s-ish, but if it looks 90s-ish, that
Probably
is where
working.
you want to be. Go ahead and install Git right here. It's very easy. And once you do that, you will then see that you have commands at your disposal. The next thing that we need to do is we actually need to do the clone. To do the clone in any type of Bitbucket, Azure, GitHub, obviously we are in GitHub right now. It's incredibly simple. You will see clone somewhere in the UI right here in
Wait, question I have. What's the difference between Git and GitHub? I don't think we'll be using that more for now. What's the difference between Git and GitHub? Well, Git is the distribution version control that helps developers track and manage changes to their source code over time. So that's what I have in mind. What about GitHub? GitHub is a cloud-based platform. So GitHub is the website, while Git is the version control that you actually use. So he's currently at GitHub, not Git. Okay.
Actual GitHub, you go to code right here, and what you want to do is you want to get this link and copy it onto your clipboard. Then we want to just go back straight into VS Code, and then we are going to type in git clone and type in the actual link that we just copied from the repo. And if you go here and go ahead and clone it, as you can see, a file lit up right here, and now we have access to the actual link that we just copied from the repo. And
Git
if you go
clone.
here and go ahead and clone it, as you can see, a file lit up right here, and now we have access to the super secret startup that
I think we do have a bash in IntelliJ. I just don't use it as much. That's the run. Where's the terminal? That's the app. We probably can create another folder within here from here, but yeah. And this is the initial command that we have. And this is the comment that we have. Okay.
we just had in our Git repo. So we've just cloned our super secret startup onto our machine. We don't need to worry about getting it running because this is just a Git crash course. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to this notion of changes. Now, many people will claim that you need to do everything by command line, but in reality, in a true production environment, you're going to be doing a little bit of both. And actually being able to do both of them is going to make you way more productive, and that's what we're going to cover right now.
I'm familiar with doing it in the command to a certain extent.
A random line of code. This doesn't really even make sense. You could call this whatever you want. You could say auto mapper. You could say, I don't know, run group. You could say anything. And then we're also going to go down here and we're just going to remove this. Keep in mind, none of this actually makes any sense. We're just going to add a line of code and we're going to remove a line of code and watch what happens. If you look over here, our one lit up again, and that's because Git is tracking our changes. We don't have to do any command line activities because GUI, the GUI is going to do it all for us. And if you go here and actually click below changes, you can see your changes. And this is activities because GUI, the GUI is going to do it all for us. And if you go here and actually click below changes, you can see.
So let's say we commented that part. More or less similar, yes. So that's the old one, and that's the current version.
Changes. And this is very important because this is what's called a diff. A diff is going to be incredibly important because a diff is going to show you where you added and removed code. And if you look here, you see green where we added code, and you see red where we removed code. And that is the whole entire point of the diff, so that you can see the changes that you made and you can see things in precision. But let's also not forget that we can also do this with command line. It's not as visually pleasing, but if you want to just do a quick git status, let's see here, I'm not in the actual parent directory, need to go back here, I need to actually cd into run group, just like this. And if I type in git status, what's going to...
So I need to get to the parent directory and git status. So yes, cd srs get status. Your branches up to the date with the origin. Master changes has not got for commit. Okay.
To happen is that you see modified and you can see it at a folder level and you can see the actual changes that you made. There are more complex ways to actually view the diff, but in 90% cases, unless you're just doing a very broad sweep and you're just trying to see what you changed, Git status is going to make sense at a folder level, but the GUI is going to make more sense at a file level and being able to see things more precisely and see the exact places where you made changes. And that is the beauty of using both the GUI and the command line. Now we're making lots of changes. Changes are great, but we need to actually do something with these changes. And you may have already guessed, we need to push these changes to the repo. And the process of this is actually multi-step, but we're gonna break it down piece by piece. And this process is sometimes called a commit or a push. A commit is almost like loading little pieces of code into a code chamber. You're getting ready to fire your code off into cyberspace, but you need to actually put bullets into the chamber of code, so to speak. And the reason that we actually put bullets into a chamber is because you don't want to commit all your code. And the process of actually doing the add or putting the bullets into the chamber is called staging. And this is sometimes called an add, sometimes people call it staging, but we stage code and then we commit code because, like I said, we don't always want to push every single piece of code that we have, and we want to individually load pieces of code into our gun so that when we do the git push, we only send code that we want into the repo. So once again, let's do a GUI example, let's do a command line example, but let's start with the GUI first because it's a little bit more intuitive and it's more easy to understand. First things first, go to your changes, go to your git source control right here, right click, and what we're going to do is an actual
commit and push.
And we're going to discard our changes. We can keep track of our changes, but we can also throw our changes out if we click, and what we're going to do is an actual very important command, and we're going to discard our changes. We can keep track of our changes, but we can also throw our changes out if we want to, and we can do a total reset. And when you have an empty source control right here, your project is reset. It is back to the way it was before you actually did anything.
Okay. I don't think it's rollback, but maybe if I clicked it here, we still don't have the same thing, but let's check.
So what we're gonna do, let's create a cool little Easter egg in here. I'm gonna go down to the div at the end of this section, and I'm just gonna add a div right here, and I'm gonna say Easter egg. And this will be a cool little Easter egg, so if anybody actually finds this, they'll be amazed at how wonderful and cool we are. So, as you probably already guessed, we have changes here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do the add, and then we're going to do the commit. So let's go into here. We're going to do the add. So we stage our changes. Sometimes it's called an add or it's called a stage. So we do the add. And our changes are now staged. But the bullets are, the actual bullets are in the chamber, but now we need to do the commit as well too. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our...
Similar to the push and commit, not just committing. Because I think committing is adding it here. And that's the amend that we have. I think I used to do the amend also with the,
and then we're going to say
with the command line.
Easter egg, just like this. Then we're going to do the commit. The commit is literally you are now holding up the gun. You have added changes, you have raised the gun,
Yes,
but
not
you
the
have
push.
not fired the gun yet. In order to fire the gun, you actually sync the changes like this. But I'm not going to do this because I don't want to commit an Easter egg like this to an actual code base because that would be not good. What we're going to do is we're going to be even cooler. We're going to put another bullet into the chamber. We're going to make another commit because in this fairy tale land of Git, you can fire multiple bullets up to the code base. And a lot of times you want to do this because you're working on your code at bits and pieces, and when you get done with your code, you want to send all of the pieces of code up to the actual repo. So we're going to say Easter egg 2. So we're going to go /div just like that. What's going to happen is that voila, we have more changes, but
Mhm.
we're going to do the actual commit, and we're going to do the actual push through the command line this time. And the way that you do it is you go into here, we're going to say git add, just like this, and then we're going to say git
Commit, and
and
then
we're going to say Easter egg 2, just like this. We're going to commit it. And as you can see, we now have one file change, one insertion.
So it's
Bullets
add
is
first,
in the chamber.
commit,
Both those bullets are in the chamber. We've
then
raised the
push.
gun, and if we actually want to push this code,
Yeah.
fire the weapon up to the code base, what you do is you do a git push. But we're not going to do that because, once again, I'm not going to commit Easter eggs up to a public code base like that. Just remember, git push. If you want to do it through the command line like that, follow those steps. Go ahead and press enter. I'm not going to do that. If you want to do the same through the command line, what you do is you sync.
I think I need to write everything that I understood so far. So we'll probably need a page here for get. So have get, just make it big, but bold. Maybe underline it even. Then go back to normal after. So the first thing that we need to know is getting repository clone from GitHub. I think he just added the URL to the command clone, and that was it, but I need to check. Actually should probably make a page for the answer also. One dash I will call it. I'll say clone, then paste the repository URL. Let's check how true that was.
Changes will branch the facing things that you general any Mac, but in that little power developer, you and nothing that you will get great that so background out and if you, as you can see that you just made, it does. Now
Right. Where was the clone scene?
in any project that you have, so you have been given code in the documents file, and let's go ahead and crash course, opened it up in VS Code in the documents file, and let's go ahead and make sure that we have Git installed. I have Git installed on my machine, but if you don't have Git installed, you will then see that you have commands at your disposal. The next thing that we need to do is we actually need to do the clone. To do it, we are in here, get this link into VS Code, and then we are going to type in git clone and type in.
Okay, I have to specify first that it's called git. Let me type this part in red. What is the colors? Just put it in red. And actually I'll make this one number 2, not 1. Because number 1 is check if get already exists. I think you can do that from what we have seen so far is by just typing get. Yep. So that was correct. That's 2 here. That's 1 dash get. So what's the third thing we do with get? So you have the repository, how to add a change to the repository. And it's by using get.commit. That's it, I think.
So once again, more changes, but we're gonna we want to, and we can do a total want in your changes. Go to your Git source control right here. Let's start with the GUI first.
We will get to that part also, the change, how to do the
Let's
change.
talk a little bit more. I'm not gonna actual commit, so we're gonna multiple actually sync the changes like this. But I'm not going to do this because I don't want to. Project is reset. It is back to the way. Quick git status. Let's see here. I'm not in
Yeah, it's get
the
status.
actual parent directory.
Okay, that's number 4. How to check for the diff information, which basically the change you did. Before is get status.
You can go type in git status at a folder level. The diff suite level. See things. See, you can lots of change code push to a.
So you
In the
push into the
beginning,
chamber by
sometimes
commit and you
so
fire it
once
by
it with the
doing
GUI
push.
are, and we can do a check. They'll probably already do the times do the Easter. Commit is you have rate don't want e. Now very times you want to get this they now have to just like this.
Okay, it's add first, then commit with the M for message. So that's what we were missing. Let's put it a bit here. We say get add dot. There's a space. Say that commit dash message. Write the commit message. Let's just point everything here in red so I remember that that's the part I forgot.
I'm going to run code base. What you do is you do a git push.
Now for the final part, how to actually save it to GitHub, not the local library. Not library, but all this repository. By adding git add.
Push. But
Okay, no, never mind, it's get push. My bad. Not sure for what reason did I say that, but
we're not going to do that because once again, I'm not going to commit Easter eggs up to a public code base like that. Just remember, git push. If you want to do it through the command line like that, follow those steps. Go ahead and press enter. I'm not going to do that. If you want to do the same through the command line, what you do is you sync changes. Let's talk a little bit more about git push so that you have a better understanding of what's going on. We fired the weapon, Jason Stratham style, whatever this dude's name is. I know that he's like a famous movie star, but we fired the code at the code base. And what's going to happen is that the commits, each individual commit that you make is going to be stored on something that looks like a timeline. And we do this because you're going to have other coworkers working on your code base, and you need to be able to keep track of who committed what. You have your coworker right here, you edited the login page, and at the same time, Sarah over here is also making edits as well too. Let's say she fixed the login bug. And as you can see, having this little commit timeline is going to be really helpful in keeping track of like what is actually going on in your code base. But how do you actually see this command, or how do you actually see this timeline? If you go to your code base right here, you go to this little commit thing like.
okay, so we need to open the git first. Go to the files. We just need to keep on going back. We did only 2 commits.
This, you can see all of the actual commits, and you can see
The initial commit, selecting the delete option and fixing the bugs.
Timeline of the changes that people made, and this is absolutely crucial in understanding what is going on in your code base. Okay, so at this point, we are pretty much code Clint Eastwood, but sometimes even the most badass code cowboys have a change of heart. Maybe we don't want to fire this code off into cyberspace. Maybe we don't want this beautiful code to be seen because it's so beautiful. Well, what you can do is you can do this thing called a git reset. And what a git reset is going to do is it's going to take these bullets out of the gun and make our code base exactly the same as it was before. So what we can do is we can go here and we can type in git reset and
I mean, it's self-explanatory,
head.
but
Now there are many ways to do a git reset, but what a git reset head tilde symbol is going to do is it's going to reset the code base at the head or the very top of our timeline that I showed you guys. So I'm going to go here and watch what happens. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I had a slash here. So we go git reset head. And what happens is that the changes are still here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and discard these changes. We're going to go git reset head, reset head, and right here we can discard both of these changes, and now we have
head
no
is the
changes
last
in
part
working
of
code.
the
We
code.
are right
Okay.
back to where we were before. But this is actually a very dangerous way of committing. You are committing straight into the timeline. It is very dangerous to do this, and this is actually somewhat similar to what you see in a production environment. But what we need to do is we need to create a branch and submit a PR. A PR
Yeah,
is a
that's what
very
I have.
important term, and a PR is going to be slang for submitting what's called a pull request. A pull request is going to submit code and allow somebody else to review your code. And if that code is up to par, if the lead likes your code, if the code is not dangerous in any way, then the code can be merged. And we have to do this via called branching. Now, branching is pretty simple. It's exactly the way that it sounds. And in a production environment, what you're going to have is you're going to have a main branch, which is what we've been committing to, but you're also going to have a dev branch. And after that dev branch, what you're going to have branches after that. And you will have what are called feature branches, you will have bug branches, but we're not going to worry about any of that right now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to create a simple branch right here, and we are going to do a merge, or we're going to submit a PR, and we will call this, I don't know, bug or something. So let's go ahead inside of Visual Studio Code. Let's create
So yes, you never commit to the main line unless it's a feature, from what I heard, or something big added to the code.
Let's
You need
merge
to
the
create
branch,
a
and I'll teach you
branch
guys
for it.
how to submit a PR. Now, I'm just going to be 100% honest here. I've never actually created a branch and submitted a PR via the command line. I've always used a GUI, and using it through the GUI is pretty intuitive and easy to understand. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go up here, make sure that you're in your source control.
Now let's search for it. Configuration, view mode, move, realize. Where can I have it? Sign off, commit, refactor code, cleanup. Pull request? I think so. Let me check.
And we're going to go to branch. We're going to create a branch.
Okay, so it's not the pull, but rather the branch. And where can we do the branch? Not that one. Branches. Where is the get branch. What it says here, new log. No, we just want to create a branch. Is it here maybe? Nope. Maybe we should actually research for that. How to create a branch in IntelliJ. Open the version control tool window by clicking the get widget on the lower right corner. Lower right corner. Wait. I mean, in my case, it's the left corner, but okay. In the branches pop-up or in the branches pane of the get tool window, click on the plus icon. We have the local, we have the head, the current branch, push, rename, new branch from master. I think that's it.
We're going to call this roll, and we're going to go to branch. We're going to create a branch. We're going to call this bug, just like this. Create a slash, and we'll say remove div. We'll just remove a random div.
Okay, let's see. Head is the current branch, which is probably that one. New branch, we call it bug slash date issues. Is it smarter to do it from here or not sure what the checkout part is?
Removed it. And this is typically the structure that you're going to see in a production environment. If it's a feature, you'll see this. If it's I don't know, usually it's just bugs and features. So we'll just go with a bug just like this. And we're going to go ahead and press enter. And what's going to happen is that Git is going to automatically
Okay, so now we have the initial commit. Why do we have an error? Because I'm currently in the path of the place where we had error. So how we delete a branch? Okay.
automatically switch the branch over for you, and you are going to be on the actual bug branch. And if you look down below, you probably can't see it. You can actually see which branch that we are on, and if you want to change it, if you want to switch back to the master branch, you can do that. But if you need to switch branches, I don't suggest using the command line. Just go down here, use the GUI, pick which one that you want, so we can go back to the master branch, or we can go back to the branch that we want. But just make sure that you are on the branch that is the bug remove div. And all that we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of practice here. We are going to just maybe delete this. Maybe we don't want that actual field right there.
So interesting, how do we see all the branches that we have, and how do we delete a specific branch? We have and how to delete the branches. Get branch, okay. That's the terminal. Get branch. So we have the master and we have the bug there. Okay, so that's a new one. So here, how to see all the branches. And we have here get branch. Nope, just branch. And the other one, to this remote branch, this local, say get branch /d and the branch name. Get branch d, and we say bug update issues. I mean, it's not much, so probably a capital D then. No. How about we just copy it then? Cannot delete the branch used by worktree at C. So we can ask ChatGPT about it. Allows you to have multiple working directories, each of you can check to resolve. You can list all the work trees. I'm not sure what a work tree is. Nope, still no idea what is a work tree. And I think that's beyond the scope of what we are doing today.
And the branch is going to function almost as exactly as what.
Okay, might as well just ask him. What is a work tree? Okay, do I have multiple ones open at the same time? I don't think so. Okay, I think we need to switch to the master branch. Okay, another question then. What is my doc file? Not here. I have so many files. How do we change what branch are we on? before I continue reading what the work tree is, how do I change the current branch? It's git checkout and it's the master version. Probably cannot do it because I am already on it. Get no, it wasn't get what was it? Get checkout. Get checkout, and then it's called the master. Get branch. I misspelled it. Now we are in the master. Then how about we try to delete it again? Now to actually check if it's there or not. Okay. So we need to change the branch that we are in order to actually delete it. Okay, in order to delete a branch, we should move from it. How do we change the branch? Let's get checkout and then the branch name. 7 get checkout, and then let me see, yeah, it's the branch name. Then how about creating a branch in the terminal? How to create a branch. Just get branch, okay. But I think get branch was yes to see all the branches, but when you specify name, okay, it's the same command. How do you create a branch? Yes, my memory is not helping me today. It is by get branch, then we say the branch name. Okay, that should be the basics that I need to know.
But you're going to be doing so in an imaginary different environment. The environment here is going to be a separate environment, and we branch because we don't want code to be conflicting with our main branch. We don't want to be altering our main branch because this is the branch that's going to be in the production environment, and you separate branches so that you can have almost like little separate containers where you can have code that does not affect the main branch. And when you actually commit to a different branch and you push to the actual origin or you push to the main branch, what is going to happen is that it's going to submit the code via a PR. So if we go up here, let's just say we do our add changes just like this. We're going to do our add changes, and I'm not going to do this via the command line like I said because it's going to be a lot difficult. What you do is we'll say bug and say div fix just like this. So div fix, we're going to commit, and then what we're going to do is instead of doing the get push, we are going to do the publish the branch, and it's going to send the branch up to the code base. And the difference is that when you actually submit a branch, and the difference is that when you actually submit a pull request, your boss is going to see a little notification come up right here or right here that says employee, Teddy or whoever, whatever your name is, just submitted a pull request. They're going to look at your code. They are going to go through your code, look at your code, and if the pull request is up to par, if your code is up to par, what is going to happen is they are going to merge this branch, and that code is now going to become part of the main. You will delete this branch, and that code will now be a part of the main branch. And the best part is that you don't have to worry about merging. You don't have to worry about any of this. You just submit the pull request. Almost all of this is automated for you, and this is pretty much all you need to know about Git in order to really get
Okay.
started. Don't need to know a lot, and everything that
Just
I
need to practice
covered
these
is
first.
going to be 90% of what you need to know for a production environment, and that is the whole entire video. Wasn't that easy? Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video.
So yes, now that we finished everything, I think with that project, should probably start mind mapping the next app that we will do. So probably tomorrow we will do before we even do the security, because I think the security can be added later. We just need to have the app first. So before we jump to the security part, basically mind map the features of the to-do list and make it, probably even start a new entire folder for that. And should I actually try to do everything from scratch again? I should, just to test how much I actually know. That should be it for today. I think that's enough. So I see you next time.